Georgia O'Keeffe is a painter from the United States who is known for her impressionist paintings of flowers, New Mexico landscapes, the cattle skeletons, and city skylines. She also had a pivotal role in American modernism. Today I'll be talking about three of her paintings: Cow Skull, Calico Roses, Spring, and Yellow Hickory Leaves of Daisy. I'll also be talking about her life. Georgia O'Keeffe was born in Wisconsin and was encouraged by her mother to study art. According to the art story, her first art class was taught by a local artist in watercolor. She intended most of the females in her family were not really pushed to pursue higher education, but she ended up attending the Art Institute of Chicago and learned under John Vanderpoel. And when she was done there, she moved to New York to further her education even more under William Merritt Chase. When she graduated, and she moved on to teaching. After a while teaching, she took a little bit of time off and focused on her art. Well, during the period, she sent a friend a few of her charcoal drawings, which her friend showed to Alfred Stieglitz, which opened a avenue of conversation between the two. When she came back, she worked with him for a while she was teaching. He offered to pay for a year of living so she could focus on her art. After a while, he left his wife, and they got married in 1924, which allowed her to focus more on her painting and creating art. Over her whole career, she produced more than 2,000 pieces and is the first female artist to have a museum named after her. That museum is in Santa Fe, in Mexico. The first painting I'll be talking about is Cow's Skull with Calico Roses. It was created in 1931 and is one of her New Mexico from New Mexico after witnessing a drought there. After she witnessed that drought, she shipped all the skeletons that she saw really fascinated her, so she shipped a bunch of them back so she could paint them. The specific painting that I'm talking about, she thought that inside where the nose was kind of felt like it was a creature opening up, and she ended up decorating the piece with artificial flowers. The next painting I'll be talking about is her painting Spring, which uses more pastel colors and noticeably less detail than in some of her other paintings. It was created in 1923 and 24, and it is an oil painting. According to kind of what her husband said on the Art Institute of Chicago's website, it is a much simplification of the building by it omitted the chimney, the window, and the siding. And she also enlarged the flagpole and curved it at the top to show the upward thrust of the painting. The building in the photo is also actually her husband's darkroom. The next painting I chose was Yellow Hickory Leaves with Daisy. She was known more. It's one of the photos that she was known for more as her more feminine pieces. And according to the Institute of Chicago, she painted them around the leaves around the flower, so they seemed like they were coming out of the flower. It's one of the pages. Flowers are one of her more staple items, you could say, and she loved she liked to do concentrations of them as enlarged and with a realistic handling to them. And according to Equal Under the Sky, Georgia O'Keeffe in the 20th century feminism, O'Keeffe is a female exception to the role. Female exception. She is a role model and a proof of possibility. The other perspective, the way that her art is relevant to our culture today and to the future generations is that it really makes you think and look at something that may be simplistic or realistic quite for a bit longer, kind of think and it's like, oh, it might be she like maybe just thought that looked really pretty together, or sometimes they'll have like a deeper meaning behind it, even if it is just a bunch of flowers or just random lines. And some paintings like green, blue and green music, I think that's what it's called. It kind of like gives you like a flow of the subject.